Hi guys! Welcome back to our YouTube channel. So for today's video, we're going to compare and contrast the following types of film genre. So first is the action or adventure versus drama.
Horror or suspense versus comedy.
Historical or epic versus biographical.
Crime and gangster versus detective or mystery.
And lastly is the science fiction and fantasy. So let's start with horror versus comedy. Horror and comedy in society today. There are thousands of genres in the world that can be used in plethora of ways. Probably, the most common and most popular genres in this current generation are horror and comedy. These genres are found at the opposite end of the spectrum, but it is not rare to see them side by side in movie theaters or even some libraries. Horror and comedy are known for their fictitious storylines along with some semblance of lessons to be learned. Although, in most cases, lessons that are taught in horror films or novels are more likely to stick than in a comedy situation. Horror and comedy have been around for a long time, from the black and white horror films to the silent comedy videos with Charlie Chaplin. These genres are seamlessly ageless and do not seem to be leaving anytime soon. Both of these genres come in multiple forms. Horror comes through Stephen King's hundreds of classic novels to chilling blockbuster hits such as Friday the 13th, while comedy seeps into children's books and movies like The Hangover. Both have storylines that unfortunately at times get repetitive and reused in every adaptation with horror. In society today, many people favor both genres. However, in some cases, there are some people that are horror junkies and do not care for comedies. And on the other hand, there are people that cannot handle horror-themed situations and settle for comedy. Many movies and some novels that take horror movies and make fun of them. These filmmakers or authors typically use comedy to make light of the horror films they choose to make fun of. On average, these genres clash, but at the same time can complement each other, since some people will watch a comedy after a horror film to calm themselves down, or watch a comedy first to calm themselves. Major film genres with increasing popularity in the film industry and the younger generation are horror and comedy. Each genre has its own unique style for captivating viewers to the movies once more. Both comedy and horror attract people from different backgrounds, and what entertain certain viewers may not suit another societal group. Comedy each require parental awareness, unique acting style, and individual enthusiasm. Before heading to the movies, viewers should do research to find which genre and title best suits their interests and preferences. Most people watch films either for entertainment or receiving information on a subject, but simple entertainment does not always explain why we watch a film. Society turns to film as a way to encourage certain emotions such as sadness, fear, and happiness. Many people show more sensitivity to horror films, yet they continue to watch them because they enjoy the thrills, fear induces, and the excitement that comes along with it. Katerina Bantinaki argues that the fear experienced many when exposed to horror can somehow be interpreted as a positive emotion. However, certain people do not care for experiencing fear, may even have issues with anxiety. Therefore, they may prefer a happier film. For those whom horror does not make the cut, the viewers should consider comedy as a wonderful way for appealing to more positive emotion in people. A sense of humor is a common human characteristic that people in many cultures experience. Comedy and horror do not share many similarities, nor They contain the same messages, but they do not have one thing in common. They are both intended to be entertaining for anyone who watches them. No genre has an advantage over the other, and each have genuine artistic qualities for viewers to appreciate. The subgenre of comedy horror aims towards scaring its audience, while adding spoofs and the use of satire. A comedy horror allows the audience to laugh and see fear in a comical way, rather than a hesitant manner.
This is its serious nature and is either plot or character driven. Action and adventure. This is exemplified by the high energy scene.
Historical versus... Ay, joke lang galit to. It's a prank. Historical or epic versus biographical. Historical or epic. This is a set in particular period in time interest to the audiences and usually in ancient time, and they are large-scale films, which with high technology and values and emphasizes visual spectacle, especially based large-scale battle scenes and action set pieces. Biographical. It is the film that dramatizes the life of a non-fictional or historically based person or people. Such films show the life of a historical person and the central character real name is used. They differ from films based on a time story or historical drama films in that they attempt to comprehensively tell a single person's life story, or at least the most historical important years of their life. They are two different genres. Biographical films are about the historical person that exists. Historical period drama can be 100% fiction. The two genres can of course overlap as well.
Gangster versus detective mystery that deals with shady characters involving sinister actions. Detective mystery that revolves around the protagonist unveiling a particular mystery which is the central aspect of the plot.
Science fiction or fantasy. Science fantasy is a mid-genre within the umbrella of speculative fiction which simultaneously draws upon or combines tropes and elements from both science fiction and fantasy. In a science fiction story, the world is presented as being scientifically possible, while a science fantasy world contains elements which violate the scientific laws of the real world. Nevertheless, the world of science fantasy is logical and often is applied with science-like explanation of this violence. During the golden age of science fiction, the fanciful science fantasy stories were seen in sharp contrast of the scientifically plausible material that came to dominate mainstream science fiction, typified by the magazine's outstanding stories. Although, at this time, science fantasy stories were often regulated to the status of children entertainment. Their freedom of imagination and romance proved to be an early major influence on the new wave writers of the 1960s, who became exasperated by the limitation. In explaining the intrigue of science fantasy, Carl J. Margrim provides an intro in regards to C.S. Lewis' speculation on the emotional needs at work in the subgenre. In so doing, these words inspire us with new sensation and experience. Such beauty, awe, or terror as the actual words does not with the stuff of desires, dream, and death.